Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another early morning video. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at the crypto news today. Ultimately, the prices have dropped like we have been talking about, as we've been expecting and articulating in our videos to you guys, that, you should be cautious in the space and wait for the lower prices. And I myself have said that I thought crypto was going to bottom out this month in June. We'll see whether that's the case and whether that comes to fruition. But show your appreciation, mash up that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, you'll want to do this, tapping the bell, selecting all the notifications so you kept up to date with all the crypto videos that we present here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we're going to start on coin market cap. Now, all of crypto has seen, massive pullbacks. Now, the total market cap for crypto has pulled back 13.32%, and it's below 1 trillion now. It's at 981.22 billion. Big pullback. Bitcoin has just sort of regained $24,000, down 14.19%. It did go down a little bit lower than that. So, maybe a little bit of a relief rally, but we do expect it to go back down and see a lower price than 24K. So, just be aware of that. But there are some fantastic buying opportunities. Just have a look at the previous video where I've gone through, the projects that we have been purchasing, and you can sort of be kept up to date with our live buys and sells in our Patreon. So link in the description if you wish to become a member. We have 2 weekly AMAs, access to private sales for our VC partners, and much more. If that's not going to float your boat, then why not jump into our Discord? It's free to join. Over 3,500 people talking about crypto 24/7. Our team is in there to support with any questions and queries. So definitely worth joining us there and having some more meaningful conversations. But what I really want to do is have a look at a lot of the news headlines here. Even Sky News is getting involved. Bitcoin plummets to the lowest level since December 2020 as crypto lender Celsius paused withdrawal. So if you missed my video from yesterday, I did say that, it looks like Celsius are having some problems. It looks like Sam, the founder of FTX and Alameda Research, is playing, nasty in the space, really. I know it's business, but ultimately lives are impacted negatively when businesses go out of business. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Celsius. They're a big player themselves, and I expect them to recover. Nick and myself have an awful lot of Bitcoin on our Celsius apps, so really hopeful that they don't collapse, because we'll probably lose our crypto, and that will be I guess a learning for us. But what I always say is, make sure that, you, I guess, understand the risks and you mitigate those as much as possible. I mean, we only have 10% of our portfolio on centralized platforms like Celsius for this very reason, right? It's that risk to reward scenario, and we always want to kind of keep ourselves safe. But to lose 10% of your portfolio is still a big loss. So hopefully Celsius can turn it around. I'm confident that they will. I think, closing the door on withdrawals, as much as that can be seen as a negative, I think it's very much a positive in the respect that they'll be able to rebalance what they need to rebalance in order to service their customers. So fingers crossed, and that will be okay, right? And no one really knows, and I think that's the point to articulate to everyone. Binance also halts Bitcoin withdrawals. It's not just Celsius. They've done this after Celsius did the same. Now, a lot of this media coverage is really negative, right? And we see this all the time. We talk about this. You've got to take all of the media outlets with a pinch of salt, because there is a hidden agenda behind most of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it, right? So we've got to take it with a pinch of salt. There is there to scare people out of the market in order for a transfer of wealth to happen. So, basically Binance, I'm not going to read through the whole article. I will link it in our Discord, a reason for you to join there to have a look through these articles. But basically they're blaming it on I guess a stalled transaction. I'm not so sure I believe that myself. I really do think that there's more to it, probably around liquidity issues. Nick and myself have already explained that a lot of crypto is leaving the exchange, particularly Bitcoin, but also like Cardano's ADA is another one that leaves the exchanges quite a lot. And this is why you see great and fantastic yield opportunities if you put it on the likes of Binance and Celsius and so forth for putting it there, right? Because they utilize those assets for liquidity. So yeah, it's really important that you utilize something like a hardware wallet. This is what we always say. If it isn't your keys, it isn't your crypto. And again, they're all like, I look at all of these companies, and you never know whether they're crooks or not. So you put in your trust in companies and leaders of companies, no matter what size they are. You don't really know them personally, so would you trust somebody random off the street to look after your crypto? I wouldn't. Now, the Bank of England's Bailey latest crypto turmoil reinforces concerns. And, again, this is just more and more, I guess, negativity around trying to scare people out of the market, in my opinion. Again, I expect regulations to come. I will embrace regulations. I think it's going to be, fantastic for crypto, and it is much needed. But I keep banging on about the bad actors in this space quite regularly, because ultimately we're in I guess some financial economic issues around the world, with the war and the inflation and interest rates and the cost of living all increasing, all this stuff. We're going to see a lot of companies fail, and I think we're going to see lots of companies losing their better staff, unable to then continue with their projects, the smaller ones and stuff like that. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on the projects, and you're really focused on what the team's doing, the roadmaps, and making sure that the team is being held accountable for dates that they put in roadmaps and stuff like that. This stuff is so important in this space. But ultimately, just a lot of scaremongering. Coinbase, MicroStrategy, other Bitcoin exposed stocks tank amid crypto meltdown. Shares of MicroStrategy and Coinbase collapsed during the pre-market trading on Monday as the price fell below $24,000. Again, this is across the board, and again, it's just more reasons to frighten investors out of the space, and it works, right? And this is why we see this big transfer of wealth. Crypto.com, BlockFi to cut over 400 jobs amid market riot. So again, this is what happens in bear markets, right? There's lots of bullishness in the bull market, but it does go very, very south when it comes to a bear market, right? And this is the same with the exchanges and the companies within crypto. It's going to be interesting to see how things sort of start to work, right? And which projects flourish and which ones don't. So yeah, it's interesting to see all this sort of stuff, but I think it is reality, right? These aren't the only companies that are cutting the workforces and stuff like that. Jeremy have, I think Coinbase have as well. There's quite a few, right? So it's really important that we're aware, we're keeping an eye on the headlines, but you've got to take some of the stuff with a pinch of salt. It's got to be said. So I think just to summarize everything, there's lots of bad actors in the space at the moment, lots of things not really working as you would like them to. I think it's really important that we keep our crypto off of exchanges, off of centralized platforms, in our own wallets where we hold the keys. Something like a ledger, there's a link in the description. Only get it from the manufacturer direct, like I say, from the link below. and not off of like Amazon or eBay, because you know they might be compromised wallets. So you know, just make sure that you're very shrewd about how you go about things in this space. But ultimately, I hope this video was useful in some way. If it was, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.